CTV News with Sarah Freemark.
You know, we need the provinces and the feds to be active on the file.
Barrie Mayor Alex Nuttall takes his fight to clean up the streets to Ottawa. The clear message about Barrie's state of emergency and homeless crisis has been delivered to Rideau Hall. Today, Mayor Alex Nuttall doubling down on the support the city needs from the federal government. The mayor sat down with CTV's Luke Simard in a tell-all uninterrupted interview. Let's go to Luke now. He joins us live with more tonight. Luke.
Well, Sarah, it's a message that made national headlines and a message that Mayor Nuttall is making sure lands on the desk of the Prime Minister. Earlier in the week, Mayor Nuttall sending a letter to Queen's Park. Today, taking it one step further, outlining a list of requests that he hopes will clean up encampments around our community.
What I'm asking the Prime Minister to do is to ensure that they're working with the province and working with the municipalities to allow for us to restore order on our streets.
Barrie Mayor not holding back when writing to Prime Minister Mark Carney regarding the state of emergency in Barrie.
You know, it's clearly articulated. These are the needs and the wants. Please come and see it for yourself. And we are here to help partner to find a solution to this incredibly difficult emergency that's taking place. Again, not just here in the city of Barrie, but across the country.
Within the letter, there are 6 clear requests from the mayor, including bail reform, expanding federal investments in emergency shelters, assist municipalities in enforcing bylaws intended to protect public safety, improve communication between federal, provincial, and municipal governments, and work with provinces and municipalities to provide clear authority for local governments to regulate and remove unsafe encampments near parks, wellheads, waterways, and critical infrastructure.
That indicates that the federal government is taking this seriously is the willingness to back municipalities up on enforcing our bylaws. If the federal government's not willing to back up municipalities on allowing for sidewalks to be used for individuals in wheelchairs or walking down the street.
A controversial call for the notwithstanding clause if that's what it takes to take back the streets on public property. Not the first time he's prompted its use. Last year, asking the Premier to consider using it as several other encampments popped up around the city.
We need to have the federal government, the provincial governments at the table. We need them investing in long-term solutions. We need them investing in helping people that are hurting. And the federal government needs to be at the table there. Likewise, the federal government needs to back up its municipalities who are saying we need to have control and order.
The notwithstanding clause, which falls under Section 33 of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, allows Parliament or provincial legislatures to temporarily override certain sections of the Charter.
I realize the Prime Minister is going a different direction when it comes to the notwithstanding clause, but the reality is these are the issues that we're facing, and municipalities need to have the ability to maintain order. The idea that a local government, a local council, a local mayor can make up for a bail reform system that's spitting people out that shouldn't be thrown out and back into the public, or that we can make up for the lack of mental health and addiction support that's available on the ground unilaterally is just not a common sense thought.
Now, again, we did reach out to the Minister of Housing and the Minister of Public Safety, and we asked them if they would be taking up Nuttall's invitation to go and see the state of Barrie and how they could clean up after the state of emergency. Reporting live in Barrie, I'm Luke Simard. Sarah, we'll send it back to you.
Okay, thanks for that, Luke. Now, if you'd like to watch that full interview, that sit-down interview with Mayor Alex Nuttall, you can go to our special State of Emergency section on our website. You'll see that, chat, and get the latest on the homeless crisis in our community, ctvnews.ca/Barrie. An update now to a story that we brought you yesterday. A Canada-wide warrant has now been issued for a woman accused of taking her young daughter to Russia without consent. CTV's Mike Arcelides has more on what we're learning about the case.
These charges are very serious, and the South Simcoe Police Service took this incident very seriously right from the get-go.
Detective Sergeant Andrew Smith confirming South Simcoe Police has now issued a Canada-wide warrant for the arrest of Tegmina Agadzanian, who was accused of taking her daughter from Cookstown to Russia last August and not returning the child to her former partner, Mark Whitaker, disobeying a Canadian court order.
She is believed to be in Russia, living in Moscow with the child. If the accused in this matter does return to Canada in any province, city, or through any port of entry, she will be taken into custody and brought before the court to answer to the charges that she is currently facing.
Agadzanian is accused of abduction and contravention of a custody or parenting order after Whitaker says she and her family have held his daughter hostage, demanding he pay child and spousal support.
We even had return plane tickets, agreed upon for her to come back on September 9th, and she did not come back.
That was a year ago. Whitaker told CTV News he met Agadzanian online, and within a few months she became pregnant, telling him she wanted to live with him in Canada until last August, when she made plans to visit family in Russia, then ended their relationship and ghosted him. Whitaker says he's traveled to Russia 7 times to see his daughter, visiting her once in March for a few hours under strict conditions.
Their game or their intentions are to get the child, keep the child there, under their control, and use the system to get the child support, the money.
Whitaker trying to convince the Russian government and police to intervene.
A court order was obtained. However, what the Russian courts choose to do with that is still unknown at this time.
While South Simcoe police investigators do their part to ensure a safe resolution in this case, Whitaker saying he will be returning to Russia next week for a scheduled hearing, hoping to get the attention of the Prime Minister's office to help bring his daughter home. Mike Arsleedy, CTV News, Bradford.
A 71-year-old man from Orangeville is facing charges following a historical sexual assault investigation dating back 2 decades. Nottawasaga OPP launched the investigation back in June after a report was filed about an incident that happened in March of 2005 in an Alliston community. The man is now charged with sexual assault and sexual exploitation. Police are reminding the public that there is no statute of limitations on sexual offenses and reports can be filed at any time. Some residents in Vaughan say they are concerned about coyotes in that region, saying the situation is, quote, out of control. This surveillance camera footage shows a pack of coyotes fighting over something on the ground. At first there are 3, but at least 5 more join the scuffle. The problem seems to be most concentrated in the Thornhill area. Of the 386 coyote sightings in the city so far this year, 240 have been in that area. That's up from 77 2 years ago. Time now for our first look at weather. Boy, did we ever have a good time at the golf tournament yesterday, Case. A beautiful day for it.
Beautiful day yesterday, and yes, a beautiful day today. Absolutely stunning. Although I have noticed a change in wind direction and a breeze picking up out here wearing the shorts, Sarah, myself, and cameraman Davey Dahl. And this is a harbinger of things to come. Let's get right to it and take a first look at the forecast, brought to you by the GravelDrivewayGuy.com, your local gravel driveway expert. 24 degrees out here, and the winds are shifting now to the west, gusting to 20 kilometers an hour. This is a look at the temperature as we speak outside your beautiful residence. Yes, that's what I'm going to go with. 22 degrees in Gravenhurst, 23 in the sunshine city of Orillia. How about 24 degrees in Mount Forest, 23 in Newmarket, and 22 degrees up Perry Sound Way. This is the radar satellite image, and I'm looking around for some clouds. I don't see many takers for the time being. However, that can certainly change. And the risk of showers, well, it's certainly on the rise in the long-range forecast. I'll have all that coming up in just a few minutes' time. Back inside Sarah.
Okay, thanks, Case. Now, all that warm weather and very little rain, it means dry conditions, and that's taking a toll on crops. The ripple effect is being felt by farmers right across the region. CTV's Rob Cooper looks at the impact and how the agriculture industry is adapting.
Rob, you can see the impact of the extreme drought that we experienced in Simcoe County this year. I mean, look at the corn.
Ken Rounds owns and operates Rounds Ranch just outside Wasaga Beach. It's an entertainment-based farm that attracts thousands of people every year.
Our hay this year got decimated on our second cut, and our third cut was non-existent.
Round says he may end up with 60% of the hay he would normally get because of the summer drought. He says that leaves him with 2 options. The first is to buy hay from out of area at an increased cost, or
do we maybe just reduce the number of animals, send them to the stockyard, and not have as many we're feeding through the winter.
The stockyard in Cookstown says it hasn't seen a big increase in people selling animals because of a lack of hay. But
we might see some calves come off pasture a little earlier. Some areas are fine. Other guys aren't that lucky. They've been dry all summer. Crops are in sad shape, so they're going to be tight for feed this winter.
Andrew Ices owns this dairy farm in Oro-Medonte. He too has been affected by the lack of hay, but has not been forced to do anything too drastic to get by.
So we've had to make some management decisions where we are planting some fall crops with hopes to take them off for feed just to make sure we have enough extra inventory for next year.
Now, two of the farmers I spoke with today say there is so little hay available they just won't be able to sell any commercially for the rest of the year and are hoping for a return to normal next season. Rob Cooper, CTV News.
Ontario's energy grid is getting a major jolt. Northern Transformer is investing hundreds of thousands of dollars into a new facility in Innisfil. CTV's Mike Lang was at today's announcement and joins us live tonight with more. Good evening to you, Mike.
Yeah, Sarah, today's announcement means 150 more jobs for our region, which is a great news for the local economy, but it's also boosting the province's energy supply chain.
We can't wait to see the progress on this state-of-the-art facility. Thank you.
Construction officially breaking ground on Northern Transformer's new Innisfil project Thursday morning, one that is expected to bring more modernized power to our region as the 17,000 square meter facility
will be purpose-built to manufacture and test transformers up to 750 MVA and 500 kV,
which Northern Transformer says is critical to support more large-scale industrial projects closer to home. The longtime transformer manufacturer currently operates out of its Vaughan facility, where it employs nearly 150 workers. This expansion in Innisfil will bring 151 new jobs to the region.
We want to welcome more businesses like Northern Transformer. We'd like you to come and invest in the town of Innisfil and in our future, because we need to make manufacturing Canadian again.
The Ninth Line site, also an ideal location for NTC's $200 million facility with its proximity to Highway 400 and the rail network.
Also, the proximity to Georgian College, the cost of living being more affordable in the area, we believe will attract more people here and we'll be able to grow the business.
The province also a strong supporter of the project, confirming an additional $10.5 million in funding.
When you see a product that is not made here in Ontario, that can be made in Ontario, we're all about supporting companies who want to reshore products from around the world, especially from the United States.
It's been a vision, as long as I can remember, of Innisfil Council to create an employment area that would attract good-paying jobs right here in the town of Innisfil, and finally, it's coming to fruition.
The facility is expected to be completed by 2028. Now, Ontario Minister Stephen Lecce, the Minister of Energy and Mines, was also on hand earlier today, and I asked him what the province is doing to ensure that its infrastructure is more resistant to significant weather events such as the ice storm that we experienced this past year. And he said that the province must continue investing in Ontario power projects such as this one.
So we have to keep investing. And I think the fact that we are expanding domestic transmitters to build the infrastructure, that we don't have to buy it from the U.S. anymore. We could buy it right here in Simcoe. It's a good story for resilience. It's a good story for reliability. It's a good story for jobs in this country.
And Minister Lecce credited Hydro One for their proactivity, but said it still took too long for some families to get their power back. Reporting live, I'm Mike Lang. Sarah, I'll send it back to you.
Appreciate that, Mike. Prime Minister Mark Carney is in Mexico, looking to strengthen Canada's bilateral ties amid rising trade tensions fueled by Donald Trump's new tariffs. CTV's Judy Trin is in Mexico City with more at What's at Stake.
Prime Minister Mark Carney is using this bilateral meeting with President Claudia Sheinbaum to reset a relationship that had been previously sidelined. Today, the two signed a comprehensive strategic partnership. The emphasis on strengthening ties with Mexico comes as U.S. President Donald Trump begins the process of unraveling CUSMA, the North American Trade Agreement. Last year, Canada did $56 billion of trade with Mexico, and Carney wants to boost that number. The Prime Minister is meeting with President Sheinbaum one-on-one. The leaders will discuss more cooperation to combat the trafficking of drugs, guns, and people. But the focus will be on building up their economies. They will also have a working lunch with top ministers, including Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand, along with Dominic LeBlanc, the lead minister responsible for U.S. trade negotiations. While the leaders talk about increasing trade with each other, it will be a conversation in the context of Trump's desire for a new North American deal.
They will be discussing their approach to the possible renegotiation of the CUSMA, but I think they're going to walk a careful balance in that they don't want to appear to be ganging up on the United States on this.
After their 4-hour meeting wraps up, the Prime Minister will hold a reception for Canadian business leaders who want to expand into Mexico. Judy Trin, CTV News, Mexico City.
Following trade tensions with the U.S., many local shoppers are going out of their way to buy Canadian, even if prices on those products are slightly higher. Some major grocery stores are now being accused of so-called maple washing.
We've seen many cases where the maple leaf was used to inflate prices, and frankly, a lot of products were labeled in a way that it was actually quite misleading.
As a result of numerous complaints, a Montreal law firm has now launched a class action lawsuit against grocers, including Sobeys, Metro, and Walmart, seeking compensation for customers. Ontario's police chiefs are voicing support for speed cameras following Premier Doug Ford's threats to scrap them. The Ontario Association of Police Chiefs say automated speed enforcement cameras are effective in reducing speeding and free up resources for other public safety priorities. It is urging municipalities to use the cameras strategically to augment other elements of road safety. The recommendation comes after Premier Ford called the cameras a cash grab and warned municipalities if they don't get rid of them on their own, his government will. We're learning that nearly 300,000 Ontarians left an emergency room without getting treatment just over the last year. A new report from think tank MEI shows that in 2024, about 5% of emergency room patients here in Ontario left without being treated. While that may seem high, it's actually the lowest rate in the country. PEI had the highest rate, with more than 14% of patients leaving untreated. The report warns that delaying or avoiding care can lead to more serious health issues down the road. A rally is underway this hour at Barrie City Hall to demand an end to sexual assault and gender-based violence. Hosted by Athena's Counseling and Advocacy Centre, the event is expected to include survivors of intimate partner violence. That's where we find our Jack Morris tonight, live in downtown Barrie with more. Jack.
We're here at Barrie City Hall for Take Back the Night. It's a protest march that is ready to really call people to take the fight to violence against women and girls. I'm here with Huronia Transitional Homes Executive Director Haley McDonald. Haley, what is happening here tonight?
Yeah, tonight we join in solidarity in an international movement to end sexual violence against women, girls, and gender diverse people. We are one sexual assault center of hundreds across Canada today, coming together and being in power and taking to the streets and feeling safe together in our collective.
Now, why is this important?
It's so important because the rates of violence against women, the rates of sexual violence keep increasing in our communities. So few of us feel safe to walk through the streets, and we have to raise attention to the levels of violence against women and sexual violence happening in our communities.
So what is the plan for the march? Where are you going?
We are going to take to the downtown core of Barrie today. We are starting here at City Hall intentionally, and we will end back here at City Hall together.
So why is it, what are you hoping to accomplish here today?
We are really hoping to get the conversation going within the community. We need people to, it takes a community to end gender-based violence. We need people to come out, to stand up, and to say to survivors, we believe you, and it is not your fault for experiencing violence, and we need to put an end to all violence against women and gender diverse people.
Thank you so much, Haley. So now they are going to set off from here in just a few minutes, as she said, march through the downtown to show women and girls and gender diverse people that they're not alone and that they don't need to experience violence. Sarah, I'm going to send it back to you.
All right, thanks very much for that, Jack. We'll have an update tonight on CTV News at 11 as well. Now let's flash back to last night, Golfing for a good cause. I had the pleasure of emceeing the Maze Martin RVH Auxiliary Charity Golf Tournament at National Pines, and what a turnout it was. 96 golfers came out swinging to raise money that will improve patient care, support essential hospital services, and help the auxiliary work towards its $5 million pledge to the RVH Foundation Keep Life Wild campaign. The day ended with raffles, a silent auction, and some playfully provoked donations. I always love having fun with that. We raised more than $13,000. CTV News, Bounce 104.1 and Pure Country 106 were proud sponsors of the tournament. Next on CTV Barrie, a local teen takes her speed skating dreams to the next level. How this Barrie-based club is helping young athletes go for gold by connecting them with Olympians. Plus, Collingwood breaks ground on a new animal center, but it's not just for our pets. It will double as a shelter space to help more families. Details coming right up. For staying with us for more than 2 decades, the Barrie Speed Skating Club has been bringing fun, fitness, and focus to its members. The club also helps fuel some big dreams, giving young athletes the chance to train with Olympians at the iconic Lake Placid Olympic Center.
Very demanding. Like, it was a lot to squeeze in.
Push, push, push. So many people are just...
14-year-old Fiona Clark-Sykes recently made the trip, training under former U.S. Olympian Dan Weinstein and a team of top-level coaches. Now, as you heard, it was no vacation, 6 hours a day on the ice, plus another 3 in dryland training, a true test of dedication and drive.
It's really fun, but it is a lot at times. It's a lot to balance. I do want to be on the national team one day, but aside from that, I do want to be a doctor.
Love that. Dream big. The Barrie Speed Skating Club is always on the lookout for new talent like Fiona, ready to hit the ice and push their potential to the limit. Plus, both short track and long track speed skating, a lot of fun. Construction has begun on a new facility in Collingwood that promises to transform the region's support for both pets and people. The Georgian Triangle Humane Society has officially broken ground on the new David and Helen Capon Regional Center for Pets and People. The soon-to-be state-of-the-art facility will double shelter capacity, deliver 5 times more affordable veterinary surgeries, and support 5 times more families in crisis.
We're in front of our new land on Sanford Fleming. We are starting construction on our 19,000 square foot animal center. It will house a full-service animal hospital and wellness center, which will provide accessible veterinary care, including low-cost spay-neuter, as well as dentals and wellness appointments for people in our community.
The Regional Center for Pets and People will amplify the impact of the Georgian Triangle Humane Society for generations to come. No word yet on when it will officially open the doors to the community, but looks like they're aiming for fall of 2027. The town of Bracebridge is embracing its history while getting a little greener. Mayor Rick Maloney brought the community together to officially open the Bracebridge 150 Forest. 150 trees now stand tall between Little Ryan's Way and Go Stick Park, acting as a lasting and living tribute to the town's rich history and bright future. The Bank of Canada made waves yesterday, cutting the key interest rates. So now the question becomes, what does that mean for the housing market? Joining us now in the CTV Barrie studio is real estate broker Peggy Hill. Great to have you.
Great to be here.
Let's talk about what yesterday's decision meant in the big picture.
So yesterday's decision, like I've always said, when the variable or when the Bank of Canada drops, the variable rate will drop, and you will get a little bit less on your home line of equity. So that payment will be smaller, but it has nothing to do with the 5-year fixed. So the bond market dictates that. And the other thing it does, it brings up consumer confidence. So people are a little happier. I mean, if this is the trend that we're on, like, so be it. Like, you know, people will feel some relief. So definitely a positive day yesterday.
And when we look at trends, if we jump forward to next month, where the next decision comes from the bank, what are some of the key pieces of data that people should keep in mind?
So I think so there was no monetary policy this month. There will be next month. But I think I watched his announcement and the talk after about 100 times because I'm trying to figure out just where all this is heading, because he keeps saying that he's looking at very short term. He's saying he's not looking at long-term trends. He's just looking at the data as it comes out right now, because there's so much uncertainty. And we've always been told that this data doesn't affect us for another 12 to 18 months. So the fact that they're looking meeting by meeting really emphasizes what kind of uncertainty we're all living under. I mean, who doesn't feel that? So I believe they've never cut just one time. So are we going to get another cut next month? Probably. But again, he said he's going to wait for the numbers to come out the next month and go with that. But at this point, the bond market, the bond market yesterday had already baked in this quarter drop, and the Fed dropped a quarter yesterday, and that was already baked in. So the bond market that dictates the 5-year fixed is actually up. So that's what really affects people's mortgages, is because most people are not on variable; they're on a fixed rate. So going forward, that's what we watch, and that'll be the barometer we use. Buyers will be happy with this because they can qualify for more. And the interesting thing about buyers, we are definitely in a buyer's market in Simcoe County, definitely. Our months of inventory are pretty high. We are in a buyer's market. However, it's a very different buyer's market, because typically in a buyer's market, you have one person for every 100 houses on the market. And that's not what we're seeing right now. We're seeing homes that have been sitting on there and dropping their prices, and all of a sudden there's 5 buyers for that home. So instead of the buyers, being far and few in between, there's actually tons of them out there. They were just waiting for the prices to drop, I guess, to these levels.
Okay. From real estate to the weather. Shall we head outside?
Let's go.
KC, more good weather on the way, I hope.
Why not? And did you know that Algonquin Provincial Park has 34 native species of trees, 24 of which are deciduous and are now showing color? Let's go, right? Yes, the color report can't be far ahead. It really can. Let's take a look right now at what our weather watcher Artiste has prepared for us. And Archer, well, there's always a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Nicely done. You're watching CTV News, Barrie.
Picture this, brought to you by Bounce 1041 and Pure Country 106.
It doesn't get much better than that when we're looking for images in motion, from jumping off the boat to falling leaves. As KC mentioned, please continue to send those action shots our way. Picture this at ctv.ca. Case, that reminds me of growing up. I used to collect all sorts of different leaves and put them in the photo album under the sticky paper so they get nice and flat. And my 2 favorite types, an ash tree, oddly. They're hard to find.
They vary.
And then, of course, the maple leaf.
Absolutely. Red or yellow?
That's a great question. Yellow, and the reason for that is because at our hunt camp, every tree would turn yellow, and my sister and I used to call it Banana World.
Oh, I like it. We have to discover that one more time at a later date. Banana World. Let's talk about the Banana World. And yeah, the trees are changing. They really are. About 30% right now in Algonquin Park. Arrowhead slightly higher. So start planning. And let's get to the weather. Here we go. Because it is changing, ladies and gentlemen. Temperatures right now after 6 o'clock still above 20-degree mark for the most part. 27 in Toronto, 18 in Algonquin Park where the wild things are, and apparently 24 different species of deciduous trees that are changing color. 22 in Parry Sound, and call it 21 degrees Beautiful Collingwood. This is the almanac. 25 and 9. That's the high. That's the low. A record 31.1 in 1882. Boy, we're going back a long way for that. And 1953 minus 1.1 for record low. Probably an overnight. Sun rises tomorrow. 7:02, sets at 7:21. 12 hours and 18 minutes of daylight. This is a look at the forecast radar. There's tomorrow morning and the afternoon. Looking pretty good, isn't it? Yeah. Is there a chance of a shower? Well, let's find out as we unpack the rest of the forecast. This southern tip of Georgian Bay, Lake Simcoe, overnight temperatures settling in just below the double digits. Looking at 9 degrees, mainly cloudy skies. I'm scanning the skies now. It still looks wide open, but increasing cloud cover, we understand. Thank you, Environment Canada. 18 and 19 degrees tomorrow for the high. Clearing skies in Owen Sound, and it looks like mainly sunny skies and 19 degrees everywhere else. In the central portion of our viewing area, Orangeville, Bradford, Georgina, Newmarket, Richmond Hill, 9, 10, 11 degrees. Increase in cloud cover. There is a slight chance of a passing shower, particularly in the Orangeville area. And then tomorrow, well, 20 and 21 degrees and clearing skies. Looks like another gorgeous day. Yeah, we've had so many, if you like, sunshine and warm temperatures. For the summer months anyway, Parry Sound, Huntsville, Bracebridge, Gravenhurst, Halliburton, 4, 5, 6, and a 3 in Huntsville. Oh, that's very close to the frost level, isn't it? Very close. Partly cloudy skies, and then tomorrow, clearing skies, some sunny conditions. Do enjoy 17, 18, and 19 degrees. That's tonight and tomorrow. Now, time for the Diamond and Diamond Lawyers 5-day extended forecast, and it looks like this. And here we go with Simcoe County. Saturday, beautiful, 19 degrees, plenty of sunshine. Saturday night, things start to change. Here comes the cloud cover. At this point, Sunday, cloudy skies, a high of 23 degrees. Monday and Tuesday, clouds, and a 30% chance of a shower. Passing shower, I might add. This is a look at the 5-day extended forecast. York Region, Saturday. Picture perfect, 19 degrees. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Sunday looks like increase in cloud cover, 23 and 23 again. Monday, it looks like we have, yes, a 30% chance of showers on the Monday and the Tuesday. 23 degrees both days for the high. Muskoka, Parry Sound, Halliburton. Saturday all the way around our region. Lovely day, 20 degrees, plenty of sunshine. Saturday night, increase in cloud cover. Sunday looks cloudy and 22, and 20 and 21 on Monday. And throughout our entire region, it looks like as we start the week, cloud cover and a slight chance of showers. Slight chance of showers. Not much rain at all in the last couple of months, and looking forward, not a whole lot on the way. Sarah.
We'll take what we can get, Case. Let's talk about one of Canada's greatest curlers because he's getting ready to step off the ice. Brad Gushue is officially retiring.
You weigh the pros and the cons, and the pros are obviously hanging out with your teammates, playing big events, getting the practice. Like, I still love the game. It's all the other stuff that, over time it starts to go, tip in the other direction. The training, the time in the airport, the time away from your family and friends.
The two-time Olympic medalist says this will be his final season of competitive curling. He won gold in 2006 and bronze in 2022. His legendary career also includes 5 world titles and 6 Brier wins. Had the chance to see him play in Ottawa. He really is an exceptional player. The Leafs were on the ice today for the first time as training camp has officially begun. The Buds are looking to defend their Atlantic Division title and make a deeper playoff run with some new faces in the lineup. Top prospect Easton Cowan is fighting for a roster spot, and it seems the team they're glad to have their starting goalie back as well, of course, after last season's injury. Toronto Blue Jays played a matinee in Tampa today looking for the series win.
Carson Williams gets into one, hits it a long way to left and way out of here.
The Rays were up 3-0 when Carson Williams added to the lead in the 6th with a solo home run, and that would be the last run scored in the game. But Toronto's magic number to clinch a playoff spot is still 3. They begin a series in Kansas City tomorrow. And here at home, the high school football season kicked off today with fans and players fired up for a new year of gridiron action.
Run! Good tackle, Dorian! Good tackle! Good tackle!
The opening game saw the St. Joan of Arc Knights host the St. Peter's Panthers, a battle between South and Barrie schools.
Reverse! Get him, Alex! Clean it up, clean it up!
We have a few new players, a few new seniors who are really joining us and really learning the game, how to play it as a Knight, and we're really grateful to have them. And we have a lot of newer guys who are picking up pretty fast, and we're trying to get them to know what Knights football is and what it means to be a Knight.
There were standout performances on both sides, setting the tone for what promises to be an exciting season ahead. Still to come, Jimmy Kimmel is off the air. What controversial comment he said that led to an indefinite suspension and what it means for his future. That's coming up. Plus, we'll recap tonight's top stories. You're watching CTV News Barrie. Recapping our top stories now, Barrie Mayor Alex Nuttall has now contacted the Prime Minister to demand support in the fight against homelessness and addiction in our city. As we remain in that state of emergency, he took it one step farther, outlining a list of what he needs to clean encampments throughout our community. So Simcoe police have issued a Canada-wide warrant for Tegmina Agazanian. The Russian woman is accused of abducting her child last summer, bringing her from Cookstown to Russia and never returning. She's now in violation of a Canadian court order. And the extreme drought that we experienced here in Simcoe County this year is affecting crops and the livestock that feed on them. One local farm says it will end up with 60% of the hay that they would normally get because of the dry weather. Another said there is so little hay available, they just won't be able to sell any commercially. Barrie City Council has officially thrown out the plan for a 25-story building on the town's waterfront.
Cost of rental housing in the city is spectacularly high. We need to have more of it hitting the marketplace, but we don't want to see it everywhere all the time. You know, it can't be just, you know, flip the neighborhoods upside down. What we want to see is a structured approach with purpose-built rental taking place, and I think that you'll see that over the coming months.
A representative of the developer appeared virtually last night to challenge City Council on their decision to reject a staff report in favor of the plan, saying they followed the city's process since consultation began back in 2021. The site on the lake side of Mulcaster and Dunlop Street has instead been approved for just 10 stories. It's been a good day on the stock markets on both sides of the border, with a rally driven largely by tech stocks. Let's go and take a look at those numbers now that we've reached the end of the day. The TSX was up 131 points, the Dow was up 124, and the Nasdaq was up 209. And commodities, oil was down 44 cents to close at $63.26 a barrel. Gold was down $39.50 to finish at $36.78 an ounce, and our dollar was down, ending the day at 72.48 cents US. Jimmy Kimmel's late night show has been suspended indefinitely after controversial comments he made regarding the death of Charlie Kirk. CTV's Heather Wright has the latest on what led to that decision and the reaction.
The controversy all stems from comments late night host Jimmy Kimmel made on his show on Monday.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
Kimmel went on to criticize Donald Trump's mourning of Kirk, pointing to the president's answer when asked how he was holding up.
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House.
Kimmel's comments were slammed by many on the right, including the chair of the Federal Communications Commission, who issued an unsubtle threat to ABC and its affiliates, implying broadcast licenses could be at risk if they did not take action against Kimmel. Nexstar, an ABC affiliate that is trying to merge with another group and will need FCC approval, was the first to yank Kimmel. ABC followed suit shortly after.
Trump and his allies seem to want to shut down speech that they don't like to hear.
ABC is not the first to acquiesce to pressure from the White House. CBS settled a lawsuit over a 60 Minutes interview that coincided with a merger between its parent company Paramount and Skydance. CBS has also announced plans to cancel The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, a move the network says was due to costs. Today, Trump downplayed freedom of speech concerns, calling Kimmel's ouster a business decision.
You can call that free speech or not. He was fired for lack of talent.
But on social media, Trump suggested other late-night hosts should be next. That leaves Jimmy and Seth two total losers, referring to The Tonight Show's Jimmy Fallon and late-night host Seth Meyers. Do it, NBC. In Ottawa, the Bloc Québécois leader declined to directly weigh in on the controversy, but paraphrased the philosopher Voltaire.
I profoundly disagree with what you say, but I will fight to the end for you to have the right to say it.
And while Jimmy Kimmel has not been officially fired, it's not clear when or if he will return to his show. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Still to come, fans thought the hit series The Summer I Turned Pretty was over, but now they're getting one final chapter when it's headed to the big screen coming up next. Please do stay with us. Here's a look at your primetime lineup. The CTV 2 movie is Voyagers, and it starts at 8, followed by Corner Gas at 10:30 p.m. and CTV News Barrie at 11. Time now to take a look at what's trending online. Fans of a popular streaming series are reacting to a surprise announcement.
Have you ever been in love?
Once.
I don't wanna think of anything else now that I thought of you.
What was her name?
The final episode of The Summer I Turned Pretty came out on Wednesday, marking what fans thought was the end of the coming-of-age romantic drama adapted from the novels by Jenny Han. The series has built a massive following, but the story isn't over just yet. A feature film has been greenlit to serve as the true finale, but plot details are still under wraps. An upcoming documentary is promising a candid look at the final days of music legend Ozzy Osbourne.
If my life's coming to an end, I really can't complain. I had a great life.
Had a brilliant career and it ended in a brilliant way.
Paramount Plus revealed the trailer for Ozzy, No Escape From Now. It's a feature-length film that's been produced in collaboration with the Osbourne family. The singer died in July, not long after that special farewell concert. In the doc, Ozzy opens up about years of health challenges. It will be available to stream starting October 7th. And finally, this one is worth the pivot. Central Perk is opening in Times Square. A real-life version of the coffee house from the hit show Friends is slated to open in New York City this fall. In fact, it's the second of its kind. The other one is in Boston. The cafe is billed as a contemporary take on the famous TV set with some authentic touches, including the big orange sofa. And Madonna is gearing up to release a new album next year. The 67-year-old says she's returning to her former label, Warner Records, and will kick off the partnership with a new dance music album. It'll be Madonna's first studio record in 7 years. The music icon hasn't said exactly when it will come out, but in the meantime, she remains the best-selling female artist of all time. That was one of the first CDs that I purchased in the 90s, Madonna, because I heard it at the roller rink. And, wow, I'm dating myself right now. What was one of your first purchases, whether it was cassette or, wait, you'd be vinyl, right?
It'd be vinyl, yeah. It'd be vinyl on the, yeah, okay, let's leave that for another date. Let's talk about the Get Up and Go, and here we go. Get Up and Go first thing tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock. Yeah, it's looking pretty nice. Sun and cloud mix, fair skies, 10 degrees in Barrie. Newmarket, 11, sun and cloud. And a chilly 6 degrees at 7 o'clock in Gravenhurst, sun and cloud. Have yourself a fantastic evening, our material girl.
Clever, but we still need to get that answer out of Casey Colby. What could have been his first record? I recall that he's a big Beatles fan, so I think that's a good guess. That's our newscast tonight. I'm Sarah Freemark. Thanks so much for being here with us. Jack will wrap things up tonight at 11. Please do take care.